pivot is happening to are people using it, are people adopting it?
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is exactly the fear that you describe. People will feel like, how will this affect my career?
This is MobileGroove at Possible, where we discuss what is possible and on that level of what is next. And that's how I came to your topic, future-proofing the human marketer. Howard, I am excited about this because this is actually the topic that no one is talking about, which is exactly that. How do we make certain that we are going to be relevant in an industry built on relevancy? Right? But first, let's get to you, Howard, because XF, is it?
XF, yeah.
And you have a long, interesting track record in doing research and just being a little bit on the cutting edge, I think is the way of putting it. But tell me about it.
I appreciate that. Well, I started my career as an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in startups for a long time.
Yeah.
And I wound up at Ogilvy. I was a partner there.
Okay.
And then I ran a network of product and design studios at IBM and ran developer marketing there. And then I ran global brand at MetLife and ran, platforms, marketing, design. And I resigned in 2021 and I started a impact organization called Experience Futures. We call it XF.
Yeah.
And we've been focusing on building responsible AI platforms and building programs to help organizations train and enable their people in the AI era.
I'm glad you quit and started
did.
this.
I
I'm glad
know.
you quit because you brought design thinking with you,
I did.
which is what people forgot. Remember?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for us,
Yeah.
not just for, but for profit. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Because it wasn't about us. And now you're about bringing us back into the equation. So you are on Team Human, I think.
I'm on Team Human. So we had this VIP session yesterday. David Sable led a whole group of us. It was great. And we were talking about this topic in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the starting point is not every job is going to actually stay. And so there's a difference between empowering people and saying that every job that exists today is going to exist tomorrow. And I think a lot of times people merge those things.
Yeah, it won't. We will have to adapt, but it's always been that way.
Yeah.
I come from journalism. Remember that? Remember when we used to open up something and read it? We do adapt. We do move on. Future-proofing. That's more than adapting. That's making certain that I'm going to be there, not just now, but in the future.
Yeah.
And that is something we don't know the future.
I think that there's a interesting thing where companies are dropping technology on people that aren't technologists and saying, you figure out how this applies to your career, to your life, to your world. And I think the wonderful thing about AI, and I'm not an AI maximalist, is that if you combine AI tooling that learns you as a human with your unique skills, then you are by definition superpowered.
I was going to say you're a superpower.
But the problem is that most people can't actually articulate what their unique skills are. They can say, I'm a marketer, or I'm a creative director, or I'm this business affairs person, whatever it is. The key is being able to identify your tacit knowledge. What are the simple human things that are unique to you? And so that actually requires a couple of things. It requires coaching and development. It requires a framework and a program. So we built that out, this very human side of it.
Okay.
But we also built out tools like AI tools to help develop that and help people articulate that in their jobs and their careers. It's actually strangely hard for people to name what their unique skills are.
Because they haven't really actually been challenged to think about that.
They haven't been challenged. They haven't had to before.
No. So what are some of the skills that we have that we need to unlock? Because I think that that's the first step to saying, we're going to be more than prompting engineers. We're going to be more than prompt engineers if we get this right.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Only if we get this right. So we have to understand what we do best. One of them is human judgment. I know that one. But how do you say, my skill set is human judgment? That doesn't work. So how does this become something that becomes part of my career planning and path.
The idea of tacit knowledge is it's unique to each one of us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if we have the ability to name something that we are uniquely special at, everybody to a certain degree has this. There's some sort of super boring people out there, I'm sure. But I think a lot of people have some dimension of uniqueness that they bring. It could be understanding their company.
Yeah.
It could be understanding their customers. It could be understanding
Probably that. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be understanding their their media landscape. It could be understanding the way that you're going to bring a product to market. It could be understanding the way decisions are made at your company. It could be any of these things. I worked with a lot of people that their core skill was the company that they worked at.
Okay.
That's their career skill. I've met other people that their core skill is something that they learned in school.
Mm-hmm.
How do you take that and articulate that and express that to AI in a way that shapes the prompts that you write, shapes how you ask AI to respond to you, and in fact, helps you build a unique set of tools that are unique to you? So one of the tools we created was a system that allows you to go through and articulate what you're good at, what your values are, what your unique skills are, and then generates actual prompt tooling aligned just to your unique values.
Is that out there for mortals to buy into?
Yeah.
I'd like to see that myself.
Yeah, it's part of the intentional technology program that we have, which is a training program, but it's also a suite of tools.
Intentional technology. I love the sound of that.
Yeah, we see a lot of people not walking the walk.
Yeah.
And the idea is if you have values, if you want to put your people first, if you want to have people adopt AI, then you have to give them the tools to do that. That's being intentional with technology. So
how would this work? I mean, I'm interested now as a person, so maybe I'll talk to you later and see if I could just get in there and play around as just a person who's excited by this. But I would imagine companies would come to you and say, look, here's my team. Here's what I need to do. I want your training here now. And I would basically buy into the set, the tools, and you.
We have a whole team that we come in and we do, first thing we do is we treat it like a transformation program. We come in and we do assessments. We talk with the leadership about their values, about their outcomes, their rollout, what they're trying to do. As an engineer, as a technologist, I also talk to their tech leads about how they're rolling this out. And then we put a team together to actually design a program for them. And it's a combination of coaching and assessments. We have, ICF certified coaches that we work with. We do leadership assessments, and then we can run live sessions. We do it in person, we do it virtually, but we also have AI tools that we drop on their teams to let them help develop their own skills and their own tacit knowledge to be able to build out their own capabilities personally. So it's a whole suite of tools.
Going to have to try a devil's advocate question on you, because I've been writing about knowledge sharing since it was long before it was cool. And I'm based in Europe, which is even cooler because that is where, and I'm based in Germany. And I remember very well writing this article a long time ago. German company, I won't name it because it's still around and they wouldn't maybe like the story. But I remember doing the story that they were introducing knowledge sharing, which is similar. This is the team with the computer. Now it would be team with AI. And it wasn't working because everyone had the feeling that my knowledge is my only reason for being. And when you suck out all of my customer knowledge and put it into the database, then you won't need me for CRM. You won't need me for all of this. So the question was, and this was also with IBM and others, they were like, why isn't this working, right? Why are people against it? Because they were thinking if they shared the knowledge, they would no longer be there in the future in their job because they'd given it all to the collective.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
So that's where we were 20 years ago. Knowledge sharing bombed at that point. Where are we now, and what do you say, or how do you overcome that fear of, I know knowledge is good when you share it, but it's also how I keep my job. It's how I keep my power is my knowledge.
No, it's a good point. So I think the way that we approach it is that we're not a business data service. We're not going to companies selling them information about their employees.
Okay.
We're providing a service to the employees.
Okay.
We're focused on being reflective. We're focused on helping to use technology, use a framework to mirror back to people or things that they can't articulate to empower them in this era. Our clients happen to be companies. Right. And so I think the goal is if you're a company and you're going to keep your people in the AI era, you need to empower the people. We exist to empower the people. That's why our organization exists.
I like that, Howard. That is so positive at a time when people are a little bit afraid. It's like, oh, my dream job will be prompting for my dream job,
Yeah.
and this will be people more in the picture. So we're going to be less of, was it human in the loop?
Yeah.
We're going to be more than humans in the loop. Are we going to be more than humans in the loop, Howard?
Yeah.
How's that happening?
I think it's interesting. I think that that goes actually towards the responsible AI part of it, which is the other half of what we focus on. And so we have tools, we have a whole platform that we've built around restricting what generative AI does, actually putting guardrails on top of it for, in regulated industry, for nonprofits, for government. But I think more and more there's this idea of where exactly do you stop AI? Where do you stop it with a customer? Where do you stop it with an employee? Where do you stop it with, the idea of making decisions on behalf of people? So some of that is tooling, and we have tooling for that. But the other part of it is helping to empower the individuals to know where to pull the ripcord, to pull the emergency stop on the train. And I think that goes back to the idea of even Kaizen, this idea from manufacturing, Toyota, which is this idea that you can improve manufacturing strangely by giving employees the ability to pull the ripcord and stop the production line. Where does that exist in AI? So people talk about human in the loop, but where exactly do we empower the humans to stop the engine? So part of what we want to do,
not at all.
Not at all. So part of what we want to do is give people and give organizations the vocabulary, even if they're not technical, to say, this isn't right. It doesn't match our values, or it doesn't match our outcomes, or violates our, some of our, conditions, or, our legal principles, or maybe puts the company at risk. How do we help the companies and reduce risk, but also help values and that human in the loop principle by actually giving employees the ability to say, we have to stop here right now.
Wow.
The first thing we have to do is train people how to say that, even if they're not technical.
Yes. That's interesting. It's like a beast, you have to tame it, but you need to understand it first. You have to get in there with it. So you need the tools because you want to be able to work with AI, and then you want the tool to be able to stop it. So so it's like all change. You affect change from inside the system. So the naysayers right now are like, oh, AI going to take my job, all of that. That's not going to help. You have to get in order to control. Makes a lot of sense.
We talk about a set of features that are constant across AI technologies, right? So if you go to GPT or Claude or Grok, there's going to be certain types of feature sets that are available. So we call them constants, AI constants. The idea is, let's stop talking about marketing terminology around what LLMs can do, or specific tooling, or marketing technology jargon. But let's give non-technical people language to talk about AI, to say, are you comfortable? Because this is a conversation everyone can participate in. Are you comfortable with AI making that decision for you? Are you comfortable with AI representing you? Are you comfortable with AI generating that for you? Let's completely decomplexify it. Let's take the jargon out of it. And suddenly you have everyone who's using AI empowered to have a conversation about what they're okay or not okay with. That's very effective. Giving people new language and new vocabulary is part of that empowerment.
Because then it becomes more familiar. What we don't understand, we fear.
That's right.
When we start to understand it on our terms, we can work with it and deal with it. And there are decisions. I mean, maybe marketers don't think about it, but when would you want to pull the ripcord? Because I think right now we're just so excited about scale, and it takes 1,000th of the time that it did before, and 1,000th of the budget, and we're getting very excited. Nobody wants to stop it right now, Howard.
And at the same time, one of the things I heard on a panel this morning is that, consumers, judge a brand, and confidence in that brand goes down by 50% if the consumer thinks that it's been AI generated, content's been AI
we
generated.
saw that with that one commercial. What was it? It was Coke, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So that's an example for marketers. Marketers would be like, where do you feel like this feels like AI? That's a subjective one. But a more literal one might be like, where do you feel like this violates our principles as a company? Or where do you feel like this might put the company in legal harm, or might jeopardize our clients, or might jeopardize our data? Think about examples where companies have, there was a financial services company even a couple of years ago that got into some serious legal trouble because it was auto-rejecting claims based on an AI algorithm, right? Who had the authority at that company to pull the ripcord and say, stop?
Yeah.
Probably no one, right? I'm sure it was probably identified. And what I found, especially as a senior exec and inside of brands, is that it's the lower level people, the engineers, the writers, the account people, the people who are actually managing work, building things, that see these problems first. It's not somebody off in an office next to the CIO that's spotting it.
I see. And so if they're empowered, then these things will either not be built or they'll be built more responsibly. And we want to have them that way.
Yeah, or at very least someone will be able to say, stop this, right?
Yeah.
My position is that AI is not ethical or responsible. It's people in organizations that are. And it's the people in the organizations that need to be coached and trained and empowered.
Well, I hope they're lining up at your door, Howard. That would give me a lot of hope in the future. How is it going? Are people getting this and saying, you know what? I understand that AI augments the marketer, but I want my team or I want my company to understand, comprehend, and control AI.
I think that is the phase that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So I think that the short answer is it's going very well.
Well, that's good for you.
We started as a nonprofit and then we built a revenue organization.
Okay.
So the revenue is our primary focus right now, selling training, selling platforms. So we're doing both. The thing that I find is interesting is that there's right now this push on adoption and it's not generating the results. So the pivot is happening to, are our people using it? Are our people adopting it?
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is exactly the fear that you described. People will feel like, how will this affect my career?
Yeah.
How will this affect not even my future, but like literally my job function? Is my job function going to go away? So the more we just push technology on people, the more they'll rebel. There's a lot of quiet quitting happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think that the people side of it is what's coming next.
So you'll be ready. You'll have your moment.
We are ready.
See, that's the irony of it. It's like the more that it is rejected, the more we're going to have to think about how to deal with it responsibly.
That's right. So
like it's inevitable. So it's like, yes, I want to see this backlash right now, because then what's coming after will be much better, because we can't stop it. It's the saying all the time, genie's out of the bottle, deal with it.
Yeah.
But we need to deal with it in a different way.
Yeah, that's right.
This is exciting speaking with you, Howard. I hope you're sharing this out there. I mean, are you like, what are you doing from XF? I mean, you're here speaking, but there's going to be really cool blogs and series and white papers and stuff. And what's out there for people to start to soak this up before maybe they can come to you? Because like I said, I'm based in Europe, so they might not be able to be at your door right now. Hopefully you're going to be global. It's a global phenomenon. What are you sharing? What can we do right now to get our heads around what you're doing to future-proof the market?
We have the model described on intentional.tech, which is the website for this program. And we do publish white papers, and we have tools available at xfutures.org, which is our kind of like major parent think tank website. And we have tools available. We do a lot of writing, a lot of publishing, a lot of talking.
I'm going to look into that.
Yeah.
And with finding out sort of like what your unique talent is, I mean, is that something on the website where it's like, like those free audits, you take a little bit of a test and you get an idea where you are. So I mean, like I can engage with you as a human being, as a marketer, because many marketers are freelance, many people are out there doing their own gigs. They were at, Ogilvy or WPP or something, and now they're consultants. So they want to know what they're able to do. How can they do that?
Yeah. So we have tools available on the website. We have this tool around, custom prompts based on your Tacit knowledge. We have a whole tool that's available around generating your own personal toolkit.
How much does this stuff cost?
Right now, that stuff is free.
Oh, hear that? That's something. I'm going to check it out.
We sell to businesses, not to people.
Well, see,
the whole goal is like, if we can get your employer to pay for it, you get it for free.
I get it. Got it. Okay. Well, that sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, right.
Howard, I hope they're bringing you back next year.
Me too.
Because this is something we need to hear more about. I want to hear more from you. I would say that what a great way to end day 2 on such an insightful, positive, optimistic note, right?
You.
We are going to still be relevant in the future. How about that?
That's right. That's our goal.
You're doing your job, Howard. I applaud what you're doing. Thank you so much.